football and he's very busy, and it's really hard to make those connections. So it's been hard to find something to work. He has a heart after God's own heart. I don't mean to embarrass you, honey, I'm sorry. And he is compelled to disciple, to lead by walking alongside others. And he's really good at noticing, paying attention. But he's only one person, and he doesn't have the benefit of his former youth pastor father to share in the leadership. So now you're going to get, you're not going to get away with a word for the day, all right? And I don't have a picture of it, so I'll show you the word if you don't know it. It's inchoate. Have you heard that word before? Inchoate. It means recently begun and thus not fully formed, or incomplete or rudimentary. So we have a bunch of inchoate plans. So many ideas. But I'd like to throw out one of them right now. There's a way of doing church that came out of the Church of England, and it's called messy church. And you probably know, yes, Deb knows all about it. They do this at Downers Grove, and it was beautiful. It's run once a month after the main service, like at 11 a.m., and it involves the entire family. Tables are out in the community room, a craft or project for the families to begin it. In whatever form, they do this together to start things off. And so there's music and a short message, and they take communion together, and sometimes there's a baptism, and the children are integral to the sacrament and to everything. And there are families that will come that don't come to any other service, but they only come to this because they can be there with their children, and their children participate, and they're getting something from it as well. So I cannot run this program on my own, and Gwen cannot teach full-time and be a grandmother and oversee Blast and run another program. She's really good, but she, needs help with things. But teenagers, they love to help little kids, okay? And it would be amazing that they would be amazing at helping to run this. But again, we need adults. And maybe there are adults out there that don't come to church that might if they had the opportunity to do this. But I'm getting to know a lot of people, but y'all know more than I do. So I have my iPad up here for something, and it's making noise, so sorry. Anyway, I'm just throwing that out there. It's inchoate, it's rudimentary, and I'd like you to think about it. But maybe if we begin listening for the sound of silence, that space between the sounds, and hear what God is saying, what Jesus is leading you when he says, "Come, follow me. I will show you how." Maybe then we would know what it is that we can do in this, because I don't know. I have lots of ideas, but I don't know what's going to work. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's talk about it. I have a book too that you can look at. Emma Goldman said, "Real wealth consists in things of utility and beauty, in things that help to create strong, beautiful bodies and surroundings inspiring to live in. Maybe the the sound of silence, will elicit something that will move us from these inchoate ideas to something tangible, beautifully useful, in the way that Timothy is urged to lead his congregation. That we would do good, rich in good works, generous and ready to share, storing up for ourselves the treasure of a good foundation for the future, so that we may take hold of the life that really is life." I wrote it on the wrong thing. There's a third definition of inchoate, and it's in an incomplete state, not yet made specific or valid. And that's also where our church is right now, as denomination is dealing with a lot of changes that are probably going to be happening, and a lot of painful conversations and misunderstandings. And so we've been having conversations around the issues, and so that we can understand together how, as our church, we will move ahead along as things happen, so that you all are aware. But next week I will have a poll so that you can respond in a confidential way. I will be the only one who will read them, so you can know that no one else will know what it is that you're saying if you want it that way. And then a greater explanation so that you can look at it, what it is that we're asking, what I'm asking of us as our church in light of what's happening in the denomination. Okay, so if you come next week, it will be in the bulletin, and I'll have it available for the next week as well. But I will try to get an email of Nancy. Oh, we should pray for Nancy. God, cover Nancy Bliss as she is healing and make it work so that she can move through the next stages of healing. Thank you, in Jesus' name. I will get an email out as well to explain what this is all about. Okay, if you have questions too, we can talk about it down in coffee hour, where we commune together and listen into those spaces in between and not in between the words as well. Yes. Attention to the sound of silence, to what really matters. This is a disciple's attention, and we are called to be disciples. Amen.